That's an interesting question. I think I knew partially when I was about 10 years old. And the reason is that we were warned in school about a man that was driving around picking up young boys. And I felt slighted because I had never been asked.
Oh, cool. About your sexuality?
Yeah.
So did the teacher ask? Did the teacher ask you about your sexuality?
No. I was never asked by a driver to get into a car. I was never picked up.
Oh.
And I realized that I wanted to be.
Wow, that's interesting. Cool. That makes sense.
Well, it was a gradual process. My parents didn't acknowledge it, but they were very welcoming to all my gay friends, particularly when I got into a long-term relationship. But the word gay or homosexuality was just never mentioned. So that acceptance, I guess, would be when I really came out.
Okay, so your parents helped you.
Yeah.
They were very liberal.
Right.
Okay.
Not that I was aware of, no. The only discrimination that I knew of was that I'm a lawyer, and at the time that I sort of was in my first few years of working, there were no gay partners in any of the law firms in Vancouver.
That you know of?
Yes. There were a couple that I knew of, but they were married.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so. Maybe the primary example is that gay marriage was accepted about 14 years ago.
Yeah, and the U.S. has just been probably 2 years, 2.5 years.
Correct, yeah.
And
in fact, I was married previously to my present marriage, but that husband unfortunately died of cancer.
Okay. So you were married in Canada before the legal or after?
No, it was about 2 years after the legislation.
Okay, perfect.
I was aware of it, but not many friends of mine were actually affected. I was very fortunate. I was in a monogamous relationship at that time. But there certainly was knowledge of it and, much discussion about it.
So how was the Canadian government relative to that?
The Canadian government was quite supportive.
So they acknowledged AIDS?
Yes, they acknowledged it and provided funds, and it was a positive experience in the sense that AIDS can be considered positive, yes.
Yes. Because the U.S., Ronald Reagan was...
Well, it was the time of, I can't remember exactly who the president was at the time. I think it was Reagan, who refused to even acknowledge that it existed. Yeah. And that was blasphemy as far as I'm concerned.
Exactly. He did a great, humongous disservice to our community.
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
I'm glad to hear that Canada was much more proactive.
Right. I think it's a continuation of acceptance. I don't see that there's legislation protecting gays or transgender or any other fluid gender situation in a lot of the U.S. states at the present time. And until that is recognized, it still should be a fight.
Yeah, definitely. In politics.
Yes.
And stuff like that. Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.